This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Halloween is tomorrow, which means the streets will be filled with kids in their costumes trick-or-treating from neighborhood to neighborhood. And the Kirksville Police Department would like to remind everyone of some very important safety tips to make sure everyone stays safe. We have Chief Jim Hughes this morning to share some of those tips. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How'd you know it was me?
I was just taking a lucky guess.
Okay, all right.
So let's go ahead and talk about some of the safety tips that you would like. Oh, that's fine, you can. Okay. That you would like to remind not only parents, but kids as well, because we know that some kids that are old enough will be going trick-or-treating by themselves tomorrow.
They will. You know, if every parent knew exactly where their kids were going, made certain they knew who they were with, had a time when they would expect them back, had a cell phone that they could use to contact them, and or they were at that age where a parent or a trusted guardian could follow them, I mean, it would basically eliminate about 80% of the problems that we encounter on Halloween. Wow. You know, and the stuff we're talking about this morning are really designed for the parents because the kids are kids.
Right.
I mean, you know, you talk to a lot of kids, a lot of young children, and what they will tell you is next to Christmas or, you know, that holiday season, Halloween is their next favorite holiday in the entire year. I mean, they look forward to this for weeks, and so you turn them loose, it's dark, it's a dark street, they're running back and forth across the street, and it's just a recipe for disaster.
So you had mentioned, you know, to have a cell phone handy, you know, to call or text or anything like that, even have like a GPS system on it as well. What other safety devices do you recommend for parents and kids to carry with them tomorrow night?
You know, costumes, certainly we don't spend a lot of time talking about costumes, but, you know, there are some safety issues, you know, making sure they're comfortable, that kids can run with them, children can run with them, that if they have props like swords or pitchforks or something like that, you know, make sure that they're not dangerous. But the key thing is probably some kind of light source, be that a flashlight, be that a glow stick, be that reflective tape that you can buy at some of the hardware stores, or my preference is all three.
Yeah.
You cannot be too visible. I mean, little bitty children running out in the middle of streets. It's kind of interesting. A lot of people don't realize this. I think maybe if they thought about it a little bit more, they might. But on Halloween night, the auto pedestrian accidents are twice as numerous as they are on average any other night of the entire year. And the unfortunate thing about that is they're oftentimes small children that are involved. So, you know, for the parents that are driving, people drop them off into neighborhoods. They just need to be extra careful. We talked about the cell phone, the advantage it can have, you know, to keeping track of your child or having your child call you if there's issues or keep you posted. But don't be doing that at night in an unfamiliar area with cars on either side of the street. Maybe no sidewalks. Maybe street lighting that doesn't illuminate, you know, the area that you're at. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Now let's quickly talk about that. You know, with we're going to see dozens and dozens of people crossing the street, walking in neighborhoods. What types of traffic laws should not only pedestrians be following, but drivers as well?
Well, it's mostly. The pedestrian laws are quite, just be upfront. I mean, they're out the window. I mean, in a lot of neighborhoods, there are no sidewalks.
Right.
I mean, certainly there aren't crosswalks in, you know, designated, painted, you know, clear crosswalks in most of the residential neighborhoods. So what we try to focus on are the drivers, the adult drivers, and that is just drive well below the posted speed limit. I mean, if you're a speed demon, this is the one night of the year you do not want to be a speed demon, because you're more worried about hitting a child than you are about the police catching you. Right. So just go extra slow. Don't use your cell phone. When you stop to let kids out, do that very safely. Just don't stop in the middle of the street. Somebody's liable to go around you, kind of like a school bus, except you don't have flashing red lights. So if you've got a van that's got doors on either side, or you're in a vehicle that's got doors on either side, you stop in the middle of the road, somebody behind you is in a hurry for some reason, and they shoot around you to left or right. I mean, kids can be getting off or out of that car from any side, and that's also a recipe for disaster. So, you know, one of the other things I want to mention are not to forget your pets. You know, 4th of July is a big deal as far as pets are concerned, but you have to remember that on Halloween, there's a lot of activity.
Yeah.
You know, and the homeowners are usually excited to have the kids come by, so they pick up on that energy. There's a lot of people ringing the doorbells, which is a little bit unusual. You have a lot of people coming in the door with high-pitched voices, and so just be careful of your dogs. You know, we want to avoid any of them getting out and getting lost, but we also want to avoid them biting anybody, but certainly a small child, out of some type of fear reaction. So don't forget about the pets too, as a safety.
All right, well, these are all great tips, and we do have plenty of others to talk about. And what we'll do is we'll just post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com. We'll also post important numbers that people can contact if they do suspect any, you know, suspicious activity or anything just out of the ordinary that night. Or
I mean, we tell everybody every night of the week, if you see something that doesn't look quite right to you, please call us.
Okay.
That's what we're there for.
Okay.
We'd like to come out, and 9 times out of 10 turns out to be nothing. But that one time it does,
never know.
it's very nice that people at least give us, you know, some kind of notice so we can go out and maybe get it stopped before it's a major problem.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief Hughes, for your time. And we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com, and we'll be right back.